Hello everyone, welcome back to another great gaming music. So, I've chosen Final Fantasy VII for this episode because it has one thing that I think is very important to a lot of people. It is the most famous game from the PlayStation 1. And I know that's not the most important thing in the world, but it's something that really resonates with a lot of PlayStation fans. And what makes this why would why would I put so much emphasis on the console this game was on when I didn't do that in the past? Well, something I want to talk about here is the fact that we now, with the PS1, you introduce to the gaming world disc-based sound fonts. And something you can definitely say the PS1 had over the N64 was the PS1 had better sound. Now with that better sound, I'm telling you, you're going to notice this from now on. There was more emphasis on using strings and brass in gaming music. In the past, you had more of an electric guitar bass thing, but this time around, you're starting to see this like turn into more orchestrated music. Like slowly but surely, especially with an RPG like Final Fantasy, you're seeing this turn into like this opera-like music world to enhance the background of the game. And with an adventure game like Final Fantasy VII, now we're gonna get into the song. A lot of use of staccato, very good of use of staccato, and you know it has that synth sound, of course, but you can really pick up the timbre here, because again, disc sound quality much better than cartridge. So you're hearing this woodwind sound, it's going underneath the brass, all this stuff. Why would they put so much emphasis on that? Well, composers have less limitations now. In fact, they can probably make the music by instrument, record it, and compress it to put on the disc. How cool! How great is that? You know, like a lot of times, again, we started out with this very computerized beep boop sounds. You know, they have this like electric guitar synth sound to just hide the fact and that it's like. I think the Genesis is a perfect example to hide the fact that the sound quality may not be that great. That definitely goes to the GBA too. But the PlayStation 1 introduced this new era of gaming music. I really feel that. So even in the N64, you'll find that there's this transition, like Paper Mario. I'm going to point out, Paper Mario 64 had this transition to this kind of orchestrated sound. Like I said though, with this song, great staccato. I explained what staccato is before in this series. It's when you stop notes very abruptly, leaving space between every note. It's full of it in the song, full of it, and they do that to create energy because you're constantly the sound waves are constantly juddering back and forth, but it's still keeping that continuous melody. It's the perfect way to build up energy, especially since you have these 2 or 3 timbres fighting with each other for this control. You know what I'm saying? Like you have the strings underneath with the brass, and they come over the brass. It's like, I have the other version here from Smash Brothers, but the thing with that is this is the original version too. I like having 2 versions. I have this version, it's the same one. It shows that this song sounds just as good on a modern day console as it does on the PS1. In fact, I do hear a little more clarity, obviously because it's going through an HDMI cable. But yeah, it's good stuff. I really enjoy it because I think it's perfect use of staccato. I think it's the perfect use of creating this energetic song, fight type song. Like that's how you want it. I think here's the rule book: use staccato, have different timbres fighting with each other, especially brass and string, and just roll with it. Have this thematic melody. Like right now we have the brass and power. The brass is in power, and the strings are still underneath there. Lots of staccato. It's a lot of continuous movement. That's how you build energy in a song. And the inspiration of the song most likely came from the fact that the limitations of older sound fonts for consoles, especially with cartridges, are now broken. You can go and do more with the sound, with sound. And it's just one of the great impacts the PlayStation 1 made. So, yeah, like the song itself is great. The soundtrack for Final Fantasy I've always enjoyed. It has this opera-like sound. It really plays with the fact of its setting and its RPG status. So give it a listen, guys. It's fantastic, and I'll see you next time.